Hi everybody, my name is Erin Burgess. I am a resource teacher in the elementary setting. I do mostly inclusion and minimal pullout. I was asked by a few of you, some of you who have used my Google Form system, to create and show you how I use my overall document of my snapshot. My snapshot gives a summary of the students' needs, their grid, their goals, and their accommodations, and then the goal page is actually linked to the Google form that I use to progress monitor the student. It's a little bit overwhelming at the beginning of the year. You might get a caseload that you have no clue how to digest it. You're really overwhelmed by it, but maybe this system will help that a little bit. One thing I really like about it is it's all in one place, and then you can share it out with all the stakeholders that need to know the information and have a right to the information. It's just a simple way to do it. It helps me a lot stay organized. I explain to all stakeholders that it's a working document, so as we change the IEP either through an amendment, MDA, or annual IEP, that will be reflected in the document. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through it. I'm going to show you what my end result looks like, and then I will also walk you through it step by step. This might work for you. It might not be your game whatsoever, but I hope that it hits home for some of you and helps you out as you begin this school year. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is go into your Google Drive. And I am in a folder called Examples because this is the confidential one that doesn't include any students' names or anything that I'm going to be working with through you. So this first one is my actual snapshot. I typically would have the grade level, so first grade tier 4 snapshot as my name of the document, but since it's just an example, that's what it is named. So this is the summary of services. So this is the student, the date of birth, the teacher. Typically, I just put my name in all of these, but this will be their homeroom teacher's name, their disability category under IDEA, their needs, so reading, writing, speech, social work. The student doesn't have academics. They just have social skills, study skills, social work, and foundations, which is a program. This is behavior plans, extended school year, assistive technology. This is when I schedule their meeting. I put this here. This is their due date. These are blank because I have not yet scheduled these meetings, and I just put this one in as an example. This is their last evaluation date. This would be any notes. So if I amend this IEP, I would probably say amended in 11 or 12, 18, if I were to amend it, but that's where I put any notes. The next sheet is the student's goals. So student A, here's their fluency, their comprehension, their writing, their speech goal. Now there are other categories like adaptive PE or FLS. There might be some life skill goals in here. I don't include it in this top bar if the student caseload doesn't receive that service. So none of these students receive adaptive PE, so I don't have that category, but you can adjust this as you need. The next one is grid, student names, and then reading, writing, math, and youth services that are allotted by this caseload. This is inclusion, pullout. Inclusion is in blue, pullout is in the yellow. And then here are the accommodations for each student. I have the accommodation, the frequency, and then the explanation. So let me show you something else here on the goals grid. Something else that I do with all of these is I actually link a Google document that is the student's progress monitoring form. So when I go to progress monitor this student, I do the progress monitor and I come in and fill this form out. So if I were to progress monitor them on Tuesday and the student is performing at 34% accuracy and then maybe 76% accuracy maybe 56% accuracy. I put those percentages in. This is the students' writing and math goals. So I just put the entire goal here and put the percentage. And I hit submit, and it says my response has been recorded. And what it does is on a Google Sheet, it says the date and the percentages for each. So eventually, these dates are completely filled out because it's all of my progress monitor dates and then their percentages. You can actually build a graph based off this data, but I won't go into that this time around. I just want to show you this working document. So let's show you how to structure your caseload around this. So the first thing you're going to do is go to New, Google Sheet, and you're going to start from scratch. You can title it whatever you'd like. We could just, for this document, we can say example, snapshot, all caps for some reason. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this for time. But what I can do is you can type all the information you need. Now this is the information that I use, but if you don't want to include their date of birth or their teacher, you could do setting for here, whatever you need. So you are going to put this in here, and this is where you fill out the information. So your student is Erin Burgess. Her birthday is 3/22/88. My homeroom teacher might be Miss Duffy. I have SLD. My needs are reading, writing, math, social work. I behavior plan, yes. I don't qualify for ESY. I have no assistive technology. My meeting's not scheduled. Say my meeting in my IEP is due in February 23rd of 18, and my last evaluation was in February 1st of 16. Whatever the IEP says, you're going to pull this information straight off of the student's IEP. Now, to make this look nice, you're going to come through here. You're going to highlight all the text. I would do this when you have all of your students in. You can hit middle. I do centered. And then this is wraparound, so when it goes into more than one cell, it will just push it all into one for you. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to my summary, and that sheet's done. I'm going to add another sheet by clicking this plus sign, and I'm going to rename this my grid. Now, since I have inclusion and pull out, I'm just going to pull this off my other sheet just for time's sake. Copy. So you would put in any information that you need to know. Student reading, writing, math, speech, social skills, social work, counseling, and OT, and say there's adaptive P or something. You can add as many categories as needed or remove as many as you need. So since I'm grading both inclusion and pull out, I'll need a cell for each. So I'm going to merge these two and put my name, Erin Burgess. Now, I come over here and devote this line to inclusion by making it all the same color, and this line to pull out by making it the same color. So I'm going to say this is my inclusion time, this is my pull out time, and I'm going to say 5 times a week for 30 minutes. Sometimes, depending on the knowledge of the IEP team, I might write it out like this, whichever. So, and then say I get pulled 5 times a week for 20 minutes. For writing, if I don't have writing services, I highlight both cells and I'll merge them and turn them a gray. So then I know I'm not serviced in that area. So take writing off of here so it all kind of matches. So my grid for math, let's say I'm 4 times a week for 45 minutes. Or 1 time a week for 30 minutes. Again, I'm just making this up as far as an example. This would be coming straight off of your student's IEP. Speech 2 times a week for 20 minutes, and they might 1 time a week for 15 minutes. However, you can spell it out or you can leave it like this. Just find whichever format makes the most sense to you. All right, so let's say I don't have services in this, so I'm going to darken all of these out because they don't apply to this student. I'm going to merge these together. All right, so you would do this for each of your students. So you just come down here and merge, and then student B would go here. Whoop, except for you probably want to spell student right. Student B, and then do the same that you did up here, blue, yellow, inclusion, and pull. And then pull that information right off their IEP and input it. To separate out the students' grids, I highlight the section that belongs to this student, and I will come up here and I will actually make a darker border just around that student's information so then I know all of this belongs to that student. You don't have to do it. It sometimes just makes it easier to read. So you're going to add another sheet. You're going to rename this to goals, and this is where the student's goals are going to go. Now, if it's gridded, it obviously has a goal, so you can actually take this from this sheet and put it on here, and then pull some of these to make them look nice. This might not bother you, but it drives me crazy. So I'm going to put, so Erin Wurgis, and this is where it can kind of get tricky. Some kids might just have one reading goal, one writing goal, one math goal, whatever you have in the IEP, but if they have more than one goal, like in my example snapshot here, I have one student who has 2 reading goals. So what I did, and then one student who has 3 social work goals, or I'm sorry, social skill goals. So I just create as many boxes as I need. So say I have a fluency goal, and I will copy this goal, copy it straight from the IEP exactly as it's stated. And then same with the comprehension goal. I'm going to copy from the IEP exactly as it's stated. If you look at my example, it is word for word what's on the IEP. 36 instructional weeks, the student C will be able to retell a story using who, what, when, where, and what, who, what, when, and where with 80% accuracy. I can read, I promise. Maybe I do need a goal. And I'll merge these two so then I know that all of these goals belong to this person. And then just make it look nice by wrapping it. And say my writing goal is to, and I'll take this straight out. So copy the writing goal from the IEP. And then if there's only one goal in that category, I'll actually merge these. And then math, I copied it from the IEP, and then I'm going to merge that because there's only one. And then if I don't have these, I'm going to do like I did on the other documents and just blank them out. Now, make this look nice. So I highlight all of the cells. I typically do in the middle, like that, and then I'll do what I did on the previous sheet and bar it all together with a thick back or border, so then I know all of this information belongs to this person. Okay? And the last page, again, come down, hit the plus. You're going to rename this as an accommodation page. I guess it should be plural because you are probably going to have more than one student on each page. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take this from my example just to save some time, but all you would have to do is type this into the front or into the top, and then you can change the color here and the font size and everything using those. Now, if you want a space, so if I just click this one and I try to move it, it's only going to move that one cell. But as you can see, all of mine need to be expanded. So you click actually up here, A, B, C, and D. There you go. So the student is me, Erin Wurgis. And say my accommodation is extended time, not to exceed 0.5 time. And I get this accommodations 5 times a week on all assignments and assessments for the duration of the IEP. And I might be a little bit more specific on this. So extended time 5 times a week to allow extra processing time. Now again, you're going to want to make this look nice, so you're going to wrap this. Now, most of our students have more than one accommodation, so I'm going to put my next one, directions read verbatim, 5 times a week on all assignments and assessments for the remainder of the IEP. Now, when you're going through this and copying it, I've caught a few spelling errors from some IEPs that I've inherited, so I always just highlight this and do tools and spelling and spell check and see extended. And then 5 times a week, we want to ignore that, no spelling. So we're going to go ahead and do this again, make it look nice, and there you go, and you just add all of them in. On this snapshot, I have created it so each student has their own color, like it swaps colors, so green, yellow, green, yellow, but that's up to you. So, something else that you're going to want to do is create your Google form. Now, for this, you're actually going to go back to your Google Drive, and you're going to come here to the new, and mine is down here. Yours might be in a different spot, but it's going to be listed somewhere in this list. You're going to come here to Google Form. Now, the best part of this is it's super easy now that you have this set up. So, this will be for the student that I've been using myself. So, we're going to put Erin Wurgis, progress monitoring. And I'm going to first put the date because this is the date that I progress monitored. And I make this a required question so then I don't slip up and miss the date and then wonder when this was taken. The next thing you're going to do is add another question. And I make all of mine short answer. You can look around in here to see if there's something that better fits your needs, but short answer has always seemed to work the best for me. So I'm going to use short answer. Now this is when I'm going to go back to this example snapshot. And I am going, since this goal was pulled off of the IEP, all I have to do is copy the goal from my goals page. come over to this and paste. And this is where that fluency goal will be. So it will look like giving a reading passage, and time to read. Erin will answer, or it was a fluency, so Erin will read, let's say, 70 words per minute with 80% accuracy. Okay? And that will be my fluency goal. My next one, I'll put in the next one from my snapshot. So this will be my comprehension goal. Whatever it says straight from the IEP, you just copy that. You put it onto here and change it to short answer. And you'll put all of your goals in here. Now this is pretty important because something else that I don't do is I do not include service providers in this. Now you might talk to your service providers. Let's see. Make this was this the writing goal? Some service providers might want to jump on board with this, but so far I just progress my own goals on this. I don't include the service providers. This is just the goals that are academics that I progress monitor. So I have all my goals in. I've got my reading goals, I've got my writing goal from the IEP, and my math goal. I personally don't like the color purple, so I come up here to customize theme, and I tend to just choose this one for all of my stuff. I don't know why. But you can play around with it. You just click it, and it will make it look nice. So the next thing you want to do is you're going to come over to the responses, and you're going to have to create a sheet where all of your responses are recorded. So you're going to say create spreadsheet. Oh, when you click up here, it'll automatically pull the title from here onto the name. So responses, you're going to do this. This should match your title of your form, and you say create. And just like that, your tracking sheet is created. Now, this timestamp, this says when, what date, and what time the answers were put in. I don't mind that as much as the date that the progress monitor was taken. At times, I'll progress monitor throughout the week and then sit down on a Friday and put them all in. So I don't want this to reflect when I put them in. I want it to reflect what date that I actually progress monitored that student. So I hide this column by hitting this drop-down box, and it says hide column. And then I make this look nice like we have in all of our other stuff. Now I clean this up a little bit. I don't like to have extra columns and everything, so I come over here and highlight whatever columns I'm not using and just say delete columns here. There's 36 instructional weeks, but in the event I progress monitor a little bit more, I come down to 50 and I delete the excess from there. I give myself 50 slots to progress monitor. Okay, so now that you have this built, it's time to link it back to your snapshot. So you're going to come back to your drive, you're going to find where your Google form is, you're going to open it up. Now, it's important that you come over to this preview button and you hit the preview. And then you're going to copy this link up here and make sure that it's the working document, one that you open up and can type right into. So you hit this eyeball, which is the preview, and it will take you here, and you just copy this up here, that hyperlink. Now come over to your example snapshot into your goals page, and you're going to go insert, link. I'm going to connect this link to Erin Wurgis. I'm going to hit paste and apply. When it becomes a hyperlink, it'll be blue with underlined words, and that means that the hyperlink has been successfully embedded within those words. So what this looks like now, I'm going to close this out so I can show you. When you open your snapshot that you've built, you will come over to the goals page. You will hit this hyperlink and it will be right here. Click it and it will take you straight to the form. And like I showed you earlier, this is where you'll enter in your progress monitoring data. So say I read 56 words with 62% accuracy. You can track this however you want. That needs to be a W. You can track this however you want. This is your data. Say for my comprehension goal, I was at 34%, 56%, and let's say I didn't progress monitor my math goal this time around. Maybe I'm doing that one every other week. So I just hit submit, and then what it will do is it will automatically put that onto the sheet that's linked there. I had to use this earlier, so these won't actually be there. Whoa. It's deleting them for me. Good. Any extra that you have come up that are blank, I would just suggest deleting. So we'll say 9/18, 18, because that's the date that I put in, 56 words per minute with 62% accuracy. My comprehension goal was at 34%, and my writing goal was at 56%. Now, from this sheet, if you're a little bit more experienced in sheets, you can actually, when you have more than one data point, have it collect an average down here. If it's just a percentage, like down here, since there's no letters or words, I can have these columns actually averaged out into an overall score. That when my sheets are complete, I'll put like quarter one, and that will be the sum for quarter one. But you need to have more than one data point here. So then by the time you're ready to progress monitor for your quarter, your averages are already input here. You just have to come pull them off of your working document. So if the 2 weeks go by and I need to progress monitor this student again, oops, I closed the wrong one. Then I'll just open my example snapshot again. I'll come over here to the goals. I'll click Erin Wurges and the hyperlink, and it will be 2 weeks after the 18th. So let's just say October 2nd, and I read 78 words with 76% accuracy. Comprehension goal is 56%. We can do 78%. I'm just trying to make it look like there's growth. And let's say I do progress monitor my math goal this time, and I'll hit submit. It will automatically update it onto my working document sheet. So that's how you do it. I really like this system. It all ties back down to my example snapshot. Now, if you have another special education teacher that also splits this caseload with you, or anybody that you want to share this with, you just come up here and hit share, and you'll type in their names or email addresses like Erin Wurges, and it will send it and it will share it with me. So it's really simple to do that part. That way your counterparts or whoever has the need to know for this information can also access it. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.